Good morning. Hello. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Sarah. I'm from the Holocaust Resource and Education Center at Kean University, and welcome to the 2025 Elementary and Middle School Conference. This year's theme is empowering change through education. So I invite you all to listen to our speakers today, listen to each other, and reflect with yourselves. You all are leaders, and this is a really wonderful opportunity for you to showcase those skills. I'm not going to stand up here too much longer. I just want to go over a couple of things. We do have sign language interpreters with us today, so if you are in need, they're going to be over here on my left-hand side. Please come over to hear from them. Otherwise, we have Mr. Joe Nappy. He's going to be giving our introductory presentation and MC. We have Amaya Rockstar Meekins, who's going to give our keynote presentation, and then we're going to do some activities. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it right on over to Joe, and we're going to get started today. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How we doing today? It's Friday. You're out of school. You get to meet some new friends. What could be better than that, right, to start your weekend off here? We're going to get started by shuffling up the deck a little bit here this morning. I think part of education is being slightly uncomfortable. Not very uncomfortable, but slightly uncomfortable, and getting a chance to meet some of the other incredible people who are here in this room. So when you came in today, your teacher gave you a name tag, right? You see that right on you? On that name tag, you have a color. There's a color on that name tag. Now, if you take a look in the middle of your tables, there are colored dots that connect to your color. Now, there's a lot of them around the room. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to take your stuff. I'm going to ask you to find a color that matches your name tag and make some new friends. Now, you may find a table that's full. That's okay. You could find another. Chaperones, if you do be so kind as to help me shuffle the deck here and get some kids to some different tables. All right, if the table you found is full, don't worry. There are plenty of tables with your colors. You can find some new spots to go. We're going, bud. You got to find a purple dot for yourself over there. Take your stuff with you, okay? Because you're going to go back there. What color are you?
I don't have a color.
You don't have a color? There you go. All right, cool. Pick a color. You two want to hang together? Jump right here. There you go. You got it. That's the idea. Yeah, we'll keep looking. We got some others over here. We'll find some friends. A little new, we got a whole pink table over here. If you need a pink one, come on down and find this. You got a purple over here, another blue. If there are no seats at the table you found, don't worry, keep looking. There are more colored tables over here. We got a whole green one over here. Take the green. You can go to green. If you got a yellow sticker, you can go to the green table. It looks like we messed up a little bit with that. Yellow color, go to the green tables. Green tables. Good morning. Yellow's green, apparently. We mixed primaries. We got them. Yellow is green. My apologies. It looks like we don't have a yellow table. We got a green table. So sorry, you were right. I was wrong. Anybody need some help? We still got some off in the corner over there. There's another green table in the back. If you're looking for a green table, you can find one over by the window. Which color are you?
Blue.
Blue? Nice. So we got a bunch of the blue tables that are on here. Any one that you want to jump on it. Yellow is green. So just find a green one. We messed up. We made them blue. You can find any of the blue ones you want. Looks like this one's full, but just keep looking. There's plenty of them around here. Yellow is green, so just find a green table and sit at the green table. We'll take that. What's up?
Yellow goes to green, right?
Yes, yellow goes to green. Get a whole little adventure. All right, are you all yellow? Do you have yellow colors? Are you all here? Why don't we make this a yellow table? We'll take this right up here. You can come on here. We'll swap it up. You're all yellow too? Make this a green. It looks like we filled up on the purple, so we make this green now. Go over and we'll do that. You want to jump in with them? This is green now if you want to hop in here. All right, what color are you? So this is green. You could join them if you want to jump in right here. Why don't we make this a green table too? We can go in here. We'll take this. Make this green. We got an empty table. If you're still looking for a green table and there's not one, anybody sitting at like a pink or a purple, turn it green. Go ahead, jump on there. We'll make it easy. There should be some that are floating around. Let's see if we can find you one. Here is a blue table. We got one back over here. I'll add another seat. Come back here. Are you all blue? All of you are blue? Okay, so why don't you take that purple table right there and make it blue. We'll make it nice and easy. All right, what do you need help with? The green? This is green now. So come on down, jump on the green. All right, it looks like we're getting just about settled. If anybody needs any help, chaperones, if we have to change a table color to fit some other kids, that's fine, or shift a chair or get them all together. All right, can I have your attention, please? I'll wait for you. Focus up here, please. I was going to say, if your table was, it looks like we've got some people over there. So chaperones, I'm just going to ask you if you could do me a favor during this activity and just kind of circulate around just to make sure that people are working together. Now, at all your tables, you've got a new group of friends. And this is going to be the group that we work on this afternoon. So just keep in mind, after we break and we get a chance later on for you to relax, these are the tables that you're going to come back to. So just remember where you're at. This is kind of your home base for the day. What we want to do right now is get an opportunity to meet some of the other people at the table. So I'm going to ask right now, at the table, as you go around, I'd like you to introduce yourselves, give your name, your school, and your grade. Older students in the room, if we got a 7th grader or an 8th grader who's at the table over there, I'm going to ask one of you to select a group leader. It could be you. It could be somebody else at the table. Pick somebody who's going to be the group leader for your group. And now here is your task. And in order to incentivize this, so hold on one second. Let me give the instructions, and then we'll start introducing. I know you're excited to meet your friends. What we're going to do here is play a game called Common Grounds. Has anybody ever played Common Ground before? If you've never played Common Ground, the rules are very simple. You're going to have 7 minutes to try to find as many things as you have in common with the people that you've just met. It could be anything, foods that you like, shows that you watch, music that you listen to. There's a million different options. Now, for me, I'm going to incentivize you. The table that comes up with the most common things in 7 minutes will get to go into my luxurious prize bag. Look at this over here. You will be some prizes for your table. I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty good. All right, what's in the bag? All right, I'm going to leave those to you. So, real quick, I know you're excited, there's prizes, but real quick, let me just explain this one more time, and it's up here on the screen if you want to see it. Introduce yourselves, give your name, your school, your grade. Select a group leader. Older students, I'm going to look to you for this one. Figure out who's in charge, and then we're going to try to learn as many things as possible. I'll come back to debrief you. You got it? All right, I'm going to start the 7-minute timer. You got 7 minutes to accomplish this task, and then we will come back together. Ready, set, go. All right, I know the timer's not displaying on the screen. You have 5 minutes left with your group. 5 minutes. Try to find as many common things as you can. How we doing over here? Good? Got it? Good. Awesome. I love it. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Ask the table if there's people over there.
Someone will come looking for it. We get it. Yep. Hey. Boom. There you go. You got it. All right, we got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes, no pressure, but all the pressure. Who's going to come out on top here? One minute warning. You got 1 minute left. Just group pace. All right, let's see if we can get one more. We got 15 seconds left.
Very back tables by the door have huge lists, so just make sure we don't forget about that.
Gotcha. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, pencils down. Good job. Clap it up for yourselves. It's difficult to meet a bunch of new people. Let's get some applause for that work right here. A couple of minutes ago, it was so quiet, I could hear a pin drop. And now I'll have to try to wrestle you back to get you back under control. That's a sign of some good ice breaking. So let's see who's going to get a prize here. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Count up the number that you've got correct. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. How many of you found more than 5 things that you have in common? Put your hands up if your group found more than 5 things. More than 10 things. More than 15 things. Wow, look at some of this. You just met a minute ago, right? You guys have been lifelong friends. Can we do more than 20? More than 20 up here? More than 25. Hand goes up. They got more than 25. They've got more than 25. Can we go to 30? You can go to 30 in the back over there? That's unbelievable. You can go to 30 over here. All right, let's hear some numbers. I got 3 tables up. Hold on 1 second. Let's hear how many you got. Let's see. How many do you have?
107.
107 common things over here. That's amazing if that's true. I'm going to find out. Can anybody beat 107? You could beat 107 on the other side. I'm going to get my steps in over here. Hold on. Let's go all the way to the back. All right, let's hear this number back here. How many do you have? 43 over here. All right, so I'm going to take the list for 43. Can anybody beat 43? I heard 107. How about 43? All right, let's take a look at what's on this list here. So for those of your groups, I think some of you are going to kick yourselves when you hear some of these. We're all people. We're all 4th graders. We're all from South Plainfield schools. We're all elementary school. We love pizza, mac and cheese, water. Not sure what that says, but looks. Oh, we have 10 fingers, 2 feet, hair. All South Plainfield school clothing. They're all wearing underwear. That's good news for all of us there. They all have joints, their pupils, their water bottles. Where's the 107 group? This is the group over here. What do we got? You didn't write it down, but we got it over there. So can you give me a list of 107 right now? Ready, go.
She knows she did.
Ready? Let's hear.
2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, a mouth, hair, eyebrows, eyelashes, organs, hands, socks, shoes. We said we like pizza, we like games.
Wow. These are pretty good. They're so good that I'm going to award both groups. We'll go back there. So 43 group over there. You wrote it down, so I'm going to go to this too. Although you just listed almost every organ in the human body that you all have in common. So that's pretty good. I'm not going to check for surgery, but I'm going to agree with you on that end. That was pretty brilliant on this sense. So let's go over here. Hand out some of these prizes. All right, you can each select one thing out of these prizes. They're all from the Dollar Tree. Reset your expectations. That's it. Pick one for each of you. And as soon as they're done, I will bring that bag back to the back for you, number 43. That was awesome. Great job on that list. All right, I hope you had some fun. I hope you had a chance to meet some people. You're going to get a chance to hang out with them as we go through the conference. But while we hand out those prizes, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. Is to try to turn your attention. I see a lot of you right now have your backs to me, right? So if you could do me a favor and turn your chairs, if you can't see me right now, face up to the front, because we're going to talk a little bit, but I got some pictures for you, and it's going to be a lot funnier if you can actually see the pictures. I'll give you that much if you could see these up on the board. So I don't know if you know who I am. My name is Joe Nappi. I am a high school history teacher from Monmouth County, New Jersey, a little bit further south than here. I grew up in Bayonne. Is Bayonne in the building? Yeah, a couple of Bayonne Bees in the building over there. I love you. That's it. I graduated from Bayonne High School back then. I had the distinction of serving as the 2023-2024 New Jersey State Teacher of the Year. It was an awesome time for me. I got to travel all around the state, meet with students, talk to them a little bit about my experience and how I ended up back here. And I want to share a little bit about that with you today. You're sitting at a conference about education, so what better place than to listen to an educator tell a story about how he got involved in this field and how to come through this. And I know that sounds terribly boring right in the beginning, but I promise you it's a little bit more interesting than it seems. Because if you had met me when I was your age, the last place you would ever expect me to be would be up here on stage. So let's go back in time a little bit and let's check out some of these pictures of myself. This was me in 6th grade. I just saw some of the reactions back there from people. Does not make me feel good that you jumped out of your seat when you saw that picture. I didn't think it was that bad. That was it. That's it. But this was me in 6th grade right here. When you saw this picture, I was an honor student. I was really working hard at school. I loved school. I loved to read. I loved all these sort of things. But it was in 7th grade where my life changed dramatically. And I want to kind of preface this by just saying that as you go forward in life, there's one thing that I hope for all of you. I hope that you're successful. I hope that you find things that you want in your life. But in my family, we always tried to focus on happiness. I remember as a kid, on my grandmother's fridge, she had this magnet. I must have read it 1,000 times just waiting for her to make me breakfast or something in the morning while I was sitting there. It says, happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. And I'll be honest with you, for most of my life, I didn't really understand what this meant. It took me a really long time to get there, and I thought I was pretty happy at this point in time, maybe a little goofy, but pretty happy at this point in life, and then things took a real turn for me in 7th grade. This is me just 1 year later in that. You could see that puberty hit hard. Wow, that was an even worse reaction from some of you outside the sheet. Yes, I had hair, and you know, laugh at me while you can, but yours will go too one day. It's all right. We'll enjoy it while it's there. That's it. And for me, this transition, which a lot of you are going through right now between 6th and 7th grade, was one of the toughest moments of my life, right? Because although I had always had a family who loved me, there were a lot of things happening behind the scenes that were impacting my life and the way that I succeeded. In 7th grade, rather than being on the honor roll, I was in detention all the time. I started getting suspended from school. I started getting into all kinds of trouble. And it got worse for me as time went on. And I think a lot of people didn't understand what was happening. They saw this transition for me from kind of like the bookworm, quiet kid into the kid who's standing on lunch tables and getting thrown out of school and all sorts of crazy stuff that I was doing. And what you weren't seeing from me, although you could see it here in this transition, is what was happening in my background. So show some more cringy pictures from the 90s of me. These are my two parents. So up here at the top, you've got my mother. This is Mary Ann. I don't know if you could see that picture. Does anybody take a guess what she does for a living? You got me? She's a nurse, right? So she was a nurse, and not only a nurse, but she was a pediatric oncology nurse. I don't know if anybody knows what that means. Pediatrician, I'm sure you probably heard that term before. What's a pediatrician? Children's doctor, right? Does anybody know what oncology is? I hope you don't. Yes. It is a doctor. You're absolutely correct. She was a nurse, but she assisted with doctors. Do you know what they specifically worked on? Cancer is absolutely correct. So she helped kids with cancer. And in the summer after my 6th grade year, I'm from like a very close-knit family. I don't know about you, but like we had cookouts. We all got together. Everybody was, you know, around usually on Sundays. And one of my cousins was diagnosed with leukemia. And my mom decided that she was going to treat her. And she actually took on that case. And that was so emotionally taxing for her that she really began to shut down. She got depressed. All of a sudden, this person that was present in my life was sleeping all the time. She was not at work. She was having all kinds of problems. And for me, I didn't understand what was happening. I thought it was something that I had done. And I really felt like, you know, maybe it was something that I was doing that was making this happen. My parents had gotten divorced when I was 4 years old. My dad moved to Bayonne. My mom lived in this town called Tinton Falls down in South Jersey. My dad over here, when I was in 5th grade, got married to this wonderful woman over here. That's my stepmother, Patty. She had, now if you look at this picture over here, this stud over here, that's me. Look at him over there. Look at that shirt. That's great. This is my younger brother, Eddie. So both of us were my dad's kids. And then we had my 3 stepbrothers and sister who moved in with us from Oklahoma. And my dad worked for the post office. He's not a wealthy man. All right, and he lived in Hudson County up in New Jersey. I'm sure I don't have to tell a lot of you. Not a cheap place to live. And all of a sudden, this guy was supporting 5 kids all the time. My mom was out of work. She had had, a breakdown at that moment. He was paying all of these bills. And I don't want to depress you too much, but if you suddenly got to pay for 5 kids and you're the only person bringing in money, what do you have to do? Take more jobs. And my dad took a second job and a third job. And all of a sudden, this guy who was constantly present in my life was gone. Not because he didn't love me, but because he had to put food on the table. He was working all the time. And suddenly, I had nobody who was really paying attention to me at this particular point in time. In 8th grade, I got kicked out of middle school. I never got a chance to graduate at the end. Not something that I'm proud of. And my mom decided that she was going to set me straight. She was going to send me to Catholic school. The nuns would get me in line with their rulers. So we didn't have enough money to send me to Catholic school. She got a scholarship from the church and sent me to RBC. This was my freshman year when I went over there. And I don't know if you can notice anything about the clothes that I'm wearing, but it tells a little bit more about the story about what I was going through. Anybody notice anything on my shirt? Hopefully you don't know what it is, but maybe you do. Yeah, what's up? What's on my shirt? Yeah, God, what's on my shirt? You want to? Life of Agony was how I felt about the world over there, was a band that I had. Anybody know what that is behind the Life of Agony? It's only the top of it. Yeah. It's a weed leaf that was on that sheet. As I got into 8th grade and 9th grade, I started using drugs and alcohol. I felt a ton of pain in my life, and I wanted it to stop. I didn't know what to do about those things. Now, I had this messed up idea in my head that if there was something wrong with me, like if I felt bad and every day I didn't want to get out of bed, I didn't want to go to school, I didn't want to do any of those things, and I felt like it was weak for me to admit that, to say that I needed help. And I started looking for answers outside of that place. Part of that was acting out because I wanted attention. Part of that was using drugs and alcohol to blunt these feelings that I didn't know what to do. And I didn't last 3 months in Red Bank Catholic. I got kicked out of the school. I got sent to the high school called Monmouth Regional that was down the street, the public school that I went to. And when I showed up in Monmouth Regional, they had already heard about me. I was the kid that got kicked out of 8th grade. I was the kid that got kicked out of Red Bank Catholic. And when I showed up, everybody was gunning for me. They immediately had their eyes on me. I was the problem child that was not going to turn this school upside down. And at the time, we had this weird drop schedule. I don't know if anybody has a drop schedule at their school, but every day it was a different letter. Those of you who've taught long enough, you remember this phenomenon. I think it's coming back now. But we used to have this letter, so it would be like an A day, you went to certain classes, and a B day, you go to certain classes, right? No, nobody told me this. I wasn't here for freshman orientation. I showed up right around Christmas time, and when I showed up at the school in December, nobody told me where to go. They just handed me a piece of paper, and they said, it's a J day. Go to your J day. I was like, all right. So I went to my first period class. There was nobody there. I went to my second period class. Nobody was there. And then I got picked up by the hall suite, right? You have hall monitors who walk around in your hallway. And immediately I got sent down. So my first day of school, I get sent down to the vice principal's office. And he says this to me when I get brought in. He goes, I know who you are. You're not going to turn my school upside down. He thought I was cutting class. I never even got a chance to explain to him what had gone on. And he immediately gave me detention. So right out of the bat, I felt like people were gunning for me. The expectations were set, and I was willing to live up to those expectations. My mom put me into a program with the police. I don't know if you know what probation is, but essentially she got me into this program where I had to take regular drug tests. I had to pass my classes. I had to go to school to make sure that I was on track. And if I didn't do that, I was going to get arrested and put into a group home. That was the threat that was hanging over my head. And immediately when I got in trouble at school, they called home and let me know what was happening. The second day I went to school, and again, it was the same thing. They were like, it's an A day. And I went to my first period class, wasn't there. So I was like, I got to leave. This was a decision that only made sense when I was 15. I can't explain to you how this made sense. But I thought, well, if I don't know what class to go to and I'm going to get in trouble, if I get in trouble, I might get suspended. If I get suspended, I got to go to jail. So I'm just going to leave. And I walked off the school campus. the second day that I was there. Good idea, bad idea? Yeah, bad idea. Definitely a bad idea on my part. And when I walked off a school campus, they called my mom to tell her that I wasn't at school. And she called my caseworker, and my caseworker called the police. And when I got home, I was arrested and taken out of my house and brought to a group home where I stayed. Now, those of you who have divorced families, you know how this might work, right? Mom and dad, do they talk to each other? Do they not talk to each other? I don't know. This is a big intrigue in my family about whether my father actually knew about this program I was in. He says he didn't. My mom says he did. I really don't care at this point. But when I got dragged off to the group home and lived there for a week, my dad, when he found out, went to court and tried to win custody of me. So after about a week in the group home, I got switched out and sent to Bayonne High School up there. This is the picture of me on my first day of school at Bayonne. You could see how excited I was to be there by my picture that was on the sheet, right, to go in here. And I wish I could tell you that through high school I got things straightened out, but although my father made me get a job and made me do all these things, when he got there, he also wasn't really around to give me advice or to raise me or to do this. He was exhausted. He was working like 80 hours a week. When he came home, he just crashed out and went to bed. And by the end of high school, I was just getting angrier and angrier. The last place that I wanted to be was inside of a school. I'm going to show you one of the cringiest pictures that I have of me all the time. This is from my senior year of high school. I took this picture for a heavy metal band that I wanted to start, and I threw this up there. Check out Peep the Jorts on there right there. I know, that's right. That's a great style that I had. I understand how that works. But this was how I wanted people to see me in the world. This was the image that I wanted to put out there for people to see. I wanted you to be afraid of me. Which is kind of weird, because honestly, I love people. Like at this point in time, though, the reason why I wanted you to be afraid of me, the reason why I wanted you to stay away from me, is because I was scared that people would figure out just how much I was hurting. That they would figure out just how vulnerable I was. See, what I didn't understand at that point in time is that I was suffering from several different mental conditions. I had depression that was diagnosed later on. I had anxiety, and both of those came from ADHD that I wasn't diagnosed with until I was in my 30s. I had no idea what was wrong with me. See, I was always smart enough to kind of pass classes, and because of that, I was never referred. No one ever looked at me. My family is not a family that believes in mental health. They tell you to rub dirt on it and to get tougher and to be a man. Like, those were the kind of stories that I heard. And what I understand now is that if I fell out of a tree and broke my arm, I would have no problem going to the doctor to get a cast to put on my arm. That's normal. That's what people do. But at the time, I had this weird idea in my head that if I went to the doctor and said that I didn't really want to live, that was weakness and not the truth. I understand now that the only thing weak was not having the courage to admit that something was wrong. I hope that this story has not resonated with you. I hope that you look at this as an oddity and something that doesn't affect your life, because for many people it doesn't. But if it does, if you're listening to this story and parts of it are resonating with you, I just want to remind you of something that I wish somebody had said to me when I was your age, which is that there are tons of people in this room who care about you, who want you to succeed, who want you to get the help that you need. And there are people at your school who will make sure that you get that help if you need it, if you're just more courageous than I was and willing to ask for that help. So I'd encourage you, if this applied to you in any way, shape, or form, don't be the angry guy in jorts that everybody laughs at on the screen when he puts them up there. Be somebody who looks for help, because I eventually found my way. Kind of a surprising way, if I put it that way. I didn't think that I was ever going to be a teacher. As a matter of fact, at the end of high school, I didn't even graduate. It was a series of sort of unlikely events that put me into this profession. My family moved out of Bayonne. They moved down to this strange place called Ocean County. I didn't want to go to school anymore. I had hated school. I didn't want to go back. My dad incentivized me to go to school. He said, listen, Joe, if you go back to school, you can have free room and board. And I'm not somebody to miss a free meal. So I went and enrolled to college. But at the time, the only thing that I wanted was money. I thought that, coming from a family where I'd watched my dad struggle and I'd watched us never have enough stuff, early on in my life, that this was going to be the solution. I would go and get a job in computer science. Back around 2000, that was where all the money was. So I enrolled in Ocean County College in a computer science course, but spoiler alert, for a kid with undiagnosed ADHD, sitting in a desk all day looking at a computer screen, not exactly my ideal way to spend my day. And at the end of my freshman year, I was miserable again. I was thinking about dropping out. I always loved to cook. I figured, honestly, right now that I'd probably be a cook somewhere in a kitchen. That's what I thought I was going to do. And then my girlfriend at the time convinced me, to go back and give it one more try. And if I'm being honest with you, it really wasn't her. It was the fact that I owed so much money in loans that brought me back to college in September of 2001. Now, I know you guys are young, and you may not have ever seen this day. But that September of my sophomore year in college, my world and the world was turned upside down by these horrific attacks that took place in New York. Attacks that hit way too close to home for me. We had a very close family friend, my stepmother's best friend, Colleen, was in the towers. When I was in high school, if you go to Bayonne, they don't have buses in that town. You had to get on a city bus to get up to school, to get up there. And in the morning, Colleen used to drop off her daughter at my house. My mom ran a daycare center inside my stepmother ran a daycare center inside her house. And she would drive me up to school. Every day from freshman year to junior year, I started my day in Colleen's car, getting dropped off. She was one of the nicest, kindest people that I've ever met in my entire life. And she was murdered on September 11th. For me, this is something that shocked me, that threw my whole world upside down. I was angry. Again, you can just imagine how this kid responds to a situation like that. It wasn't pretty. It was a lot of anger. It was a lot of, nerves and things like that. But I think, honestly, it's because I'd been angry for so long that I just couldn't get any more angry. I had a breakdown. I started crying. And I remember thinking at the time that I wanted to do something that was the opposite of what I had seen on that day. I wanted to do something that helped people, not hurt people. I wanted to do something that brought love and caring into the world. But what? How? It was then that my girlfriend said something to me. She said, "Joe, you would make a great teacher." And I laughed at that idea. That was hilarious to me. I mean, I was the guy that, teachers hated to get up and see in their class. I was the one that used to get kicked out of school. Now I'm going to be in charge? That's ridiculous. And then she said something to me that still rattles around in my brain today. But if you were in charge, you could make it anything that you wanted it to be. And that was really interesting to me, because if I was in charge, what would I want to do with that? How would I want to make the world a better place? What could I do with my students? And this is something that has driven my teaching. Because Mrs. Nappy, and by the way, spoiler alert, my daughter's in the room here somewhere in the back over there. Hi, Tony. She's over there waving to me. That's it. But spoiler alert, I went on to marry that girlfriend, right? That's Mrs. Nappy now. She teaches English down the hallway from me in the high school where we went along here. And she encouraged me to stay in school and to graduate college. I graduated from Ocean County College. That was the first graduation I ever had in my life. I went over to Rowan University. I got a degree. And you know where I got a job teaching? Right back in that same high school that had kicked me out all those years ago. It's where I still teach today. For me, teaching has been an opportunity to spread love, to share what I know with other people, and to make a positive difference in this world. And it's been the most meaningful experience of my life. Now, I'm going to take you somewhere else with this, but I could see as a teacher that you've been sitting for way too long here for a minute. So let's do this. I know I owe some prizes to that table in the back. I have not forgotten about you. Don't worry. You're going to get hooked up. I'll come over there for a second. But why don't we play a game for a minute here? Let's get up out of our seats right now. Everybody stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Let's take a little brain break here before Nappy drops some more knowledge on you. Now, what I have in front of me is a commemorative coin. I want you to see that I'm not cheating right here, sir, so you could be my little thing. You see this? That says 2025, that is the heads. And you can see I'm not cheating right there. That is the tails, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a little game called Heads or Tails. Anybody ever played it? Good, good, good. So some of you already know how this works. It's pretty easy. Now, here's the deal. We're on the honor system, but also I just want to point out that, like, snitches get stickers. So if you catch somebody cheating over there, make sure you let me know, and we'll get them out of the game. So focus on the people around you. Make sure they're correct. Now, here's the way the game works. We play heads or tails. Ready? So if you want it, I'm going to flip the coin, right? It's going to come up heads or tails. If you pick the right option, you stay in the game. If you pick the wrong option, sit back down in your seat. You're not in it for the prize, okay? So if you want heads, all you're going to do is put your hands on your head. If you want tails, you don't have to do anything. Just stay there by yourself. So if you want heads, you're going to put it up there. I'm going to flip this coin in 3 seconds. Make a decision right now. Is it going to be heads or tails? Lock it in, lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. 3, 2, 1. It's heads. All those of you without your hands on there, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. If you had your hand on your head, you are safe. You could stay on in. You are still in this to win a prize. All right. Let's go one more time here. I'm going to lock it in. So again, head, put your hands on your head. Tails, do nothing. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Tails. All those with your hands on your head, sit down. Sit down, sit down, sit down. All right, as we start to weed this out a little bit, this is where the strategy comes in. You might have to risk something here in order to get this together. If you see everybody with their hands on their heads, you might want to be bold and go tails. I'm just throwing that out there for you. You know, fortune favors the bold, right? All right, heads or tails. Here we go. We're going to lock it in. 3, 2, 1. Heads. All those with tails, sit down over there. All right, let's go one more time here. Heads or tails, lock it in. We're going 3, 2. What is that, sir? Is that a head or a tail? All right, there we go. 3, 2, 1. Tails is the winner. All those with heads, sit down. How many do we got left here? We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got a few of you left in here. Let's see if we can eliminate you down to a couple. I'm going to do 2 more flips. Ready? Heads or tails? Heads or tails? Ready? Lock it in. 3, 2, 1. And it is heads. Sit down, those of you who had tails. Let's do it one more time. If you could stay alive, you can come up front and grab a prize. We're going to go one more time here. Heads or tails? Heads or tails? Lock it in. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And it is heads. Take a seat. Who's still alive? Who survived? I'm not giving you a prize, sir. I'm sorry. You're not. You got to be under the age of 8th grade to get a prize. Nobody? Oh, back here, you two. Come on down. Come get a prize. Clap it up for them. Come on over here. Come on. If you're legit and they're not cheating, come on down. We've got all sorts of great prizes in here. Do you want Wolverine socks? Do you want a pocket guide to the United States Constitution? Do you want, no, you decide for yourself. Go ahead, pick yourself out something from inside. And we've got this. Yeah.
There's a school that, so I need chaperones to stand, and then I need people, if they have room at their tables, to raise their hand so that we can weave some of these kids in.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. All right, here's what I need real quick. Chaperones, can I ask you for an assist real quick? We got a group that just arrived, and we filled in the table, so we need to find some empty seats. It really doesn't matter according to the color. We're just going to sit them at whatever empty seats we want. Can you do me a favor? Can you just go to the tables nearby, and if there's an empty seat, just put your hand up. That way we could send them quickly to the empty seats. So those of you in the back, welcome. We're so glad that you are here. Please find somebody with their hand up, and you will find yourself an empty seat. Come on down and grab those seats. You got it. I know those prizes are so good. I don't know how you could possibly choose them. Don't be shy. We're all meeting new friends here. Come on down, find a seat. And again, we got lots of hands up over here, kids. So if you need a seat, come on down to this side of the room. Thank you, chaperones. Appreciate you as always. All right, as they find their seats, for the rest of you already seated, let's play one more game here, okay? So, as I said to you, when I got involved in teaching, one of the things that I wanted to do was to try to make a positive difference. And I was inspired to do this by this man. He's absolutely incredible. His name is Manny Lindenbaum. Manny Lindenbaum is a local Holocaust survivor who lives near our school. And Manny has been through things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And he's come out of them with like an unbelievably positive attitude. The guy is just infectiously positive. I call him a real life superhero because he's always trying to help other people. And I don't know if you've ever had the chance to listen to a survivor speak, but he, like many survivors, so you're coming in here, I know you're excited to see it. Can we just keep it down a little bit so we can hear it over there? Thank you. Manny, like many survivors, ends his presentation with this picture. He's so proud of the family that he built up despite all of the Nazis' efforts to make that impossible. And he tells this story about whenever he meets his grandkids, the one question that he asks them is not, what are you studying in school? Not how much money are you making? Not, what do you plan to do with this? His only question is, what are you doing to help others? And I think that's such a beautiful question that I started asking it to my own students. I started asking them to develop a final project designed around helping other people. And later on today, part of the reason why you're sitting at these tables is because you're going to be asked to think about positive changes that you could bring in your own community. How could you make a difference? How could you make somebody else's life smile? Now, these are all high school seniors who have done incredible things at my school. And I know you're thinking like, all right, well, yeah, but they're seniors in high school, Nappy. What about us? So I wanted to throw up to you a group of people on the screen. I'm just interested if you know what these people have in common. Some of them I'm sure you've seen before. So this is Louis Braille. That's Malala Yousafzai. That's Nicholas Lowinger. That's Marley Diaz. Any of the oranges in the house here? Got any of the oranges? No? Yeah, maybe? That's Orion Jean, and that's Easton LaChapelle. Anybody tell me what these people have in common? I'll go back through them one more time. Orion Jean, Easton LaChapelle, Nick Lowinger, Marley Diaz, Louis Braille, and Malala Yousafzai. Can anybody tell me what they got in common? Yeah. They're all your age and younger. That's absolutely true. Most of them at the time that there's something important happened, they were about 12 years old. Sir, you got an answer for me over here? Let me see if I can run over with the mic. You can hear what you got to say. Go on.
They're all humans.
They are all humans. That's a very good point, sir. Thank you.
They've all made an impact in our world.
They've all made an impact in our world. Does anybody recognize any of them? Could you tell me who any of them are? Go on.
I think Louis Braille is the one to make Braille for books.
Absolutely correct. Louis Braille is the one who created Braille, which is the language in books that allows people who are sight impaired to do it. Did you know Louis Braille? You know anybody else? No, you know?
I was gonna say something that it does.
It's all right. You got it. She got your answer for you. It's all good. We got it. And you?
They did something for someone?
That's absolutely true. So I know you had a great answer, too. I'm going to take it over here. But all of these people who are up here changed the world in amazing ways before they made it to high school. And that's kind of a crazy thing to think about. Louis Braille, at the age of 12, started developing a language for people who were visually impaired to be able to see. You see it all over the place, those raised dots known as Braille that were over there. Malala, who grew up in Afghanistan where girls were not allowed to go to school, started at just 12 years old to speak out against what was happening here. And I don't know if you know what happened to her. I won't spoil that story in case your teachers want to talk about it. But do you know the story of what happened to Malala?
Did I take it? She was fighting how girls could go to school because the Taliban thought girls shouldn't go to school and they didn't deserve an education. And she would speak out for girls' rights.
Absolutely correct. Great job. Give her a round of applause for that great answer. That was awesome. So absolutely correct. And the Taliban actually tried to kill Malala. She was shot, miraculously survived. And although none of us would blame her if she had been too scared to continue speaking out, what did she do anyway? She kept speaking out. She's the youngest person to ever win the Nobel Peace Prize for a project she started when she was 12. Nick Lowinger over here used to volunteer with his mom at homeless shelters, and he was asked one day by a person at the shelter to please not wear those cool flashing shoes. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? The light-up shoes that they used to have. And Nick was like, what are you talking about? Why can't I wear my light-up shoes? And he said, well, the kids in the shelter are getting upset because a lot of them don't even have shoes that fit, never mind light-up shoes. And he got so upset by that he started a project to find shoes in his community to donate to the shelter. As of today, he has raised over 250,000 pairs of shoes that have been donated out to them. He's worked with Nike and Reebok and Adidas pro athletes who donate their shoes to make sure that no kid has to feel ashamed about the footwear that they're wearing to school to go out there. Marley Diaz, who's from, I believe, West Orange. Don't quote me on that. It might be East Orange. My bad, Oranges, if I confuse those, who was over there. She became upset because most of the stories that she saw in school weren't about people that looked or had life experiences like her. So she started a project to diversify the libraries in Orange. Today, it's taken on a nationwide focus, and she collects books all across the country to make sure that students get to hear stories from people that they identify with and stories that reflect their culture. That's Orion Jean. He's the youngest person to ever win Time Magazine's Person of the Year as a child. In 2021, at the age of 12, he became this for the Kindness Project. He set this up online where he asks students around the country to do something kind for somebody else and then to share with him on his website. As of today, he's up to 72,000 acts of individual kindness that have been done in his name. And that's Easton LaChapelle. Easton LaChapelle loves 3D printing. I don't know if any of you are into like STEM or engineering or any of that stuff. But when he was out, he had won an award for his 3D printing work. And when he was out in the field, he met a little girl who couldn't afford a prosthetic arm. She had lost her arm in a car accident, couldn't afford the prosthetic arm because the arm cost $100,000 for her to get. And he said, I could make you one with my 3D printer. So he did. And then he put a patent out to 3D print these hands, and he started his own company to make these more accessible to everybody else. Now, some of the hands that he's selling go for $5,000 and $6,000 instead of $60,000 to $100,000 for those hands. These are all kids who started when they were your age because they saw a problem in the world around them and they wanted to solve it. So I want you to think, because I know a lot of times if you're like I was at this age, you might feel powerless. But you have lots of power, and you've got great ideas. You got a vision in the world that only you have, and you could do amazing things with that if you choose to do so. So I hope as we go through today, you think about that. Think about what you can do. Think about the power that you have, because it truly is impressive to go through this, all right? So thank you so much for your attention this morning. I really appreciate you hanging with me and listening to me and going through all this, and I am so excited for who I get to introduce to you next to bring up here onto the stage. So give me 1 second here. Let me just scoot through this. This picture up here. All right, we got a real treat today. So motivational speaker, writer, ambassador, and artist Amaya Rockstar is taking the world by storm. Amaya began her music career at 11 and has done more than some of her adult counterparts. Releasing her first project in June of 2018, Amaya Rockstar's Not a Question. She's been a part of several national tours, performing in 16 states, over 35 cities to date. She's been featured as an opening act for several major productions such as Camden Jam and the Universal Soul Circus. Amaya was also a fashion ambassador for Nordstrom's department stores and a teen ambassador for Yell Skincare. She's been featured in 13 different publications, 14 different radio shows, and 3 different national morning news shows. She's been to 12 IAAA awards in New York City. She's won 2 IAAA awards in New York City, one for Best Female Solo Artist, the other for Teen Humanitarian and a Teen Entrepreneur Award. Award for her online traveling boutique. In 2019, she received the Visionary Award from Fighting for Youth, the Next Generation Youth Award from the NAACP, and a Nurturing Heart in our community. Amaya was also named the 2019 Girls Who Brunch Tour honoree for her outstanding leadership. From her love for mentoring her peers to encourage them to be the best for themselves, Miss Amaya has motivated to formulate a workshop entitled Be the Brand, which encourages her fellow Gen Zers. Her goal of this workshop is to encourage her peers to use their voice to make a change. She raised money for the Newark water crisis, partnered with the Willingboro NAACP with that donation. She's donated toys to youth in Trenton, New Jersey for the holidays, has been featured as a supporting role in the independent film Road to Truth, and the web series Water Makes the Blood Run. In May of 2019, Amaya released her first book, The Life of a Teenage Girl, to address issues she felt were important and not touched on enough, like colorism, bullying, and gun violence. She's had the pleasure of hosting a book signing at Barnes & Noble West Bank in Harvey, Los Angeles during the Essence Festival weekend. In 2022, Amaya started her new business with her cosmetic line. Is it Jean? There we go. Jean Cosmetics. Where she currently has 12 different products for sale. With all this, Amaya managed to still graduate high school at 16, maintaining a 4.0 GPA. She graduated from Rowan College at Burlington County, shout out profs over there, with a 3.5 GPA on the dean's list, and is now back in school to earn her degree in business administration. Y'all give it up for Amaya Rockstar.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Y'all are here, y'all are lit. It's so many beautiful faces. I am so excited to be here. He was reading my bio. I'm like, dang, I did all that? I don't even remember doing all that stuff. I am 22 years old, so I started doing all of these amazing things at 11. So now I'm like, dang, I just want to chill a little bit. Like, whew, been working for a long time, but how you guys feeling? Are you feeling good? Make some noise. Make some noise. Oh my God, I am so excited. So, as they said, I'm Amaya. They gave me a beautiful, wonderful introduction, and I just want you guys to make sure you guys are leaving here with something. Make sure you guys are taking notes. Make sure you guys are just paying attention and making friends and networking, because that is very important in your future, to network and, you know, make relationships with the people, because you never know. You guys may be able to collaborate and do something together. So I just want everyone to know that everyone in this room is a star, and everyone in this room is chosen, and each and every one of you have a purpose to fulfill. Now, we're going to get a little bit interactive. Raise your hand if you have a goal. A goal. Anything you want to accomplish. Okay. Now, raise your hand if you have something you want to accomplish. So that's like if you have a test and you've been doing bad and you want to pass your test. Okay. Now raise your hand if you ever tried something and you failed at it. Everybody's hand should be raised up in this room. Okay, now who wants to give me, you want to share? Want to share? What have you learned from you failing something? What have you learned from the experience? Want to share?
You need to keep trying to accomplish your goal.
That's good. That was, he basically, I can wrap it up. So 2 things that you need to remember to stay dedicated to your goals is consistency and discipline. Have you guys heard those words before? Consistent, staying consistent? Okay, that's a life skill. Got it? All right. Do we have any athletes or aspiring track stars in the building? Make some noise. Okay. So imagine you're training to run a race. And at first, it might be hard. Your legs might start to get hurting. You might get out of breath. And you may even want to give up. But if you keep going every day, practicing a little more, eventually you'll feel like you get stronger over time. You eventually get used to it, right? Your body gets used to it. So that's what consistency is all about. It's like building a tower and one brick at a time. It may seem slow at first, but eventually you'll have something amazing in the end, right? So another thing that you guys need to be successful is understanding the power behind taking a risk. You got risk takers in here? Anybody like to, y'all don't like, okay, good. So when I first wrote my book, The Life of a Teenage Girl, I was 16 years old, right? I had no idea how to even write a book. I was presented an opportunity. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm doing. So when it came time to submit the first draft of the book to the editor, mind y'all, I spent hours. Y'all ever worked hours on an assignment and then it's just like, you gonna give me a C? Sorry, teachers. You gonna give me a C? And I sat here and spent all this time. So I spent hours working on this book, y'all. This lady told me, this is an essay. An essay? I'm like, what do you mean this is an essay? So after that, I got, a little discouraged. I got a little frustrated. And I even cried because I'm like, I sat here and put all my time and effort in this. And you mean to tell me, I already didn't know what I was doing. And you mean to tell me I wrote an essay? Like, what? Can I have some type of help? So I was challenged and I picked myself back up. And I felt like I didn't succeed, but I picked myself back up. And the thing is, with me taking that risk, I didn't allow that one failure to stop me from missing the opportunity to make a change in the world. I then regained my confidence. I did a little bit more research, and I wrote my book. I wrote my book so it could be appealing and relatable to people like you and me. I love the representation that's in the room. It's people from all different kinds. So this event and stuff like this makes me very happy because we all can feel connected to one another. But my book has granted me so many opportunities to be a help to many other people around the world. So just like your favorite artist, your favorite athlete, or even your favorite TikToker, content creator, to be successful, they all had to remain consistent and getting up after they failed. That is the key. Remember to get back up. So today, I encourage you all to love your flaws because that's what makes you you. And that's what makes you the star that you are. So whether, like me right now, y'all, I was so subconscious. I got this big pimple in my forehead. And I'm like, oh, my God. But then I'm like, that's what makes me unique. That's what makes me relatable. That's what makes me appealing to other people. So you love your flaws. Whether you have a beauty mark, whether you have a birthmark on your face, that can make you rich, okay? That can make you it. So I just encourage you guys to stay strong in your work, be great listeners. You have to be a great listener to be successful, and make sure you stay humble, stay disciplined, and stay consistent. And I promise you, you will see the fruits of your labor. And where did it go?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do that right now. All right, great. So give it up real quick for Amaya one more time. Thank you so much, Amaya. So I hope that you don't have your cell phones in school. I certainly hope that that's not the case. And we in the room, by the way, if we have questions, I said, but what we're going to do right now, we're going to do a question and answer with Amaya. You can ask questions to her about anything that you want to know more about. If you want to submit them digitally, you can use the QR code to do it. If you want to raise your hand and ask a question, I will be more than happy to come around there so you can ask anything about the great speech that she just gave. You can talk about her music career, talk about the clothing brand. You know, there's so much to unpack here. Does anybody have a question? If not, I will start asking some. I got tons. So we can do this all day. We'll go over here. All right. He got first, so let me run back there, but I got you. I'll be right back in a second. Let me hear my man in the hat right here.
So when you started as a teen, how was it? Like, what was your experience, and what were some hardships that you faced?
Amaya, let me just. I was just going to ask you. We got two. Awesome. All right. There should be another one. All right.
Mic check. Okay. So some of the hardships I faced. Okay, so my story is a little bit similar because I actually got kicked out of my middle school as well. I was one of those talkative students in the classroom. Yeah. So, but I actually started my career at 11 years old. That's when I became professional in my music career, and I got bullied so bad, y'all. So, because it was that transition from elementary school to middle school, I had dropped my first music video, and literally, I like to keep I'm so private, I'm low-key shy. So I come into class one day, and one of the teachers is playing my music video on the screen like this. I'm like, that is so embarrassing. So at the time, I was like so humiliated. I was so, like, I felt like I was getting bullied. It was people going around the school saying my lyrics. I got teased so bad, y'all. Like, it was so bad. And then now me today, I'm like, okay, like, but I had to get there. But yeah, I definitely went through a lot of hardships. I got bullied really bad, and that just pushed me into my greatness, because at the end of the day, like, you bullying me because I'm doing something great with myself, I mean, so yeah, that's some of the hardships.
Thank you for sharing that, Maya. Before I go to the next question, I just want to point out, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you can absolutely submit questions. I got the Excel sheet open. Those questions are dropping right in. So if you got one right there, that's it. I'm going to go here, but don't worry. We'll get plenty of time. I'll come around next to find some of you in a second. Go ahead.
All right, so since you're into music a lot, do you think you can sing a song for us?
Oh, no. See, look, I don't sing. I actually rap. But you guys go check it out on Apple Music. you guys go check it out. I'll be here, and I'll give you guys my social media so you guys can check it out. I promise.
All right, great. We got another question back here about.
What was it like starting your occupation at 11 years old?
At 11? It was, okay, so because I've started so young, I've missed opportunities to have like prom. I actually went to school online because I was traveling so much. So that's also how I was able to graduate so early, because I was tired of taking my laptop in the airport through a TSA. So it was just like, yeah, let me get this done. But it's weird because I was in the entertainment industry so young, I feel like I also had to grow up faster. So where you guys were, outside playing, having fun, I have to go perform in Houston. And then my friends are like, well, what do you mean you have to go perform in Houston? Like, it became where I wasn't able to relate to certain of my peers. And that's what happens when you're sacrificing to become successful and you have a goal you want to accomplish. Your crowd, your people around you start to change, and you start to have to go up another level and start to hang out with peers that can relate to you. So, yeah.
How did you manage doing everything that you did while going to school and graduating at 16?
I still don't know, because I'm still trying to figure out how I'm managing college with everything. But I think it would have to be time, managing your time, setting a schedule, and following that routine. Definitely, like, organizing, make sure your life is really organized, too, as well. So that's time, managing your time.
The tricky way.
Did you have any hobbies like theater or stuff like that?
Oh, okay, so I did, in the mix of me trying to do stuff, I did act in a few projects that I was just thrown into. And I was just like, okay, cool, let's try this out. But then once I tried it out, I was like, acting is not as easy as I thought it was. What do you mean I need to cry on cue? So yeah, acting and stuff like that was fun. Like shopping and, going bowling, stuff, regular kid activities. I love your hair. You're a rock star. You look fire. Go ahead.
What made you start to like music?
So my mom and my dad, they have always instilled great music in my life. They have like the best music taste. I always say, yeah, my mom's back there. Say hey, say hey, mom. They have great music taste. So I was raised on good music. Yeah.
What's the highlight? Can I get a highlight list there? Give me your top 2.
Ooh, top 2 is crazy. So lately, I've been into Smino. Do y'all know who Smino is? You don't know what Smino is? Okay, let me see if I can think of something more relatable. Because you guys got to think, I'm only 22, so I'm no like Travis Scott and Lil Uzi and all that stuff like y'all. I'm still young, hip. It depends.
I am not young and hip, so I got none of those things. I have a framed picture of Aretha Franklin in my room, though. We keep her up there, so you got to keep that. There you go.
You plan on writing a new book?
Yes. So the way this book ends, and I have copies on hand today, I wrote this book when I was 16. Like I said, y'all, I'm 22. I've been getting nailed to the cross about the second part, the way I left the book off. So yes, The Life of a Teenage Girl 2 will be coming soon. Yes.
What are the pros and cons of reaching your goal?
Oh, that's a good one. The pros are that you get your goal. You get to where you're coming from. The cons is the journey and the emotions and everything you're dealing with to get there. That's it.
What majors are you doing in college right now?
Okay, so currently I'm taking, my major is business administration with a minor of business. I'm taking accounting, macroeconomics, physical science, and another course I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm on spring break.
Yeah, enjoy that spring break, right?
Have you ever lost friends due to following your dreams?
Yes. But it's crazy because, another thing I want you guys to understand, you have to protect your boundaries. That has been a thing this week. Like for me, I've been understanding that you really do have to protect your boundaries, but it's a way to do it. So you don't want to come off mean either, but you do need, that's just natural thing. But yes, I have lost friends because sometimes when you're elevating in life, some people don't want to elevate. They want to stay stuck. Me, I'm a person who likes to keep going. And I kept going.
Is this always what you wanted to do as you were growing up?
No, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys say that? You think I would get lawyer?
Yeah.
Lawyer? I actually went to college to study fashion merchandising too. So.
We got it. This is shameless pandering. My daughter wants to ask you a question. Let's see what you got.
Okay, what's up?
Do you have a favorite singer or rapper? If so, who are they?
Oh, okay. It's crazy because my playlist is literally all over the place. Dang. Okay, let me think. Top. Okay, Smino's definitely top. Why every time somebody asks me this question, I can't think?
So hard. You need that the Spotify
songs,
rewind.
Y'all. It's songs. Okay, if we go in rapper, I'm gonna go Nicki Minaj. She's top. Nicki Minaj. That's it. Nicki. I'm a Barb. Nicki. Yeah.
What made you start everything that you did?
I realized from a young age that I was actually like really creative, and like Mr. said here, I feel like I have undiagnosed ADHD, so I just can't sit still, and I just always need to be doing something. So when you're that type of person, your hands are literally everywhere, and I just always was just so into myself, into fashion, sassy, so I just knew life wasn't gonna be boring for me because I just always was in something. Drawing, clothes, music, art, yeah, that's me all the way.
If you had to think a family, friend, cousin, stranger, etc., who would it be?
My mom. My mom. I love my mommy. That's my road dog. She's been here with me. She's been here with me through it all.
Always a popular answer. I'm working my way around. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about you.
Why did you want a music career?
Okay, so I didn't necessarily want it because
when I was little, y'all know like dance, when people are in dance recitals and stuff. I was one of those little girls on the stage dancing, and then all of my friends around me, I don't know if you guys know who like Mullins Behavior, Jacob Lattimore, Diggy Simmons, all of those were my peers at the time. So then it was like, okay, my mom one day, she wrote this little rap for me, and she was like, try it, like try to memorize it and do it. And then once she seen it, I was like, okay, she's like, we might got something here to work with. So then she put me in the studio, and ever since then, everything was history. And that's just where it's been.
Who was your biggest inspiration?
I'm a faith-based person, so I would say God, personally. I feel like God's the best artist, so God.
Did you ask a question already? I got to skip over to somebody else. We'll go through this. So hold on, I told her I would do it.
You guys are asking some really good questions.
How was your family support through your whole journey?
My family literally supported me from the beginning. I literally can go and be like, all right, guys, I'm about to go take a cooking class, and I'm going to be a chef. And they're going to be like, okay, Maya, we're here. We'll taste your food. Like, they're so supportive. But necessarily, I didn't always have that support, though, from certain family members. It's like the support that you necessarily want from certain people, you don't always get. And my mom always used to say, okay, if your hometown doesn't support you, go on the outskirts. Go somewhere else.
What inspired you to continue to do all the wonderful things that you have done?
Getting opportunities to actually come here and talk to you guys like this. I am not a 9-to-5 person. I do have a 9-to-5, but I rather spend my life doing stuff like this, honestly. I think it's pretty cool.
What's your current dream?
Ooh, okay. Y'all gotta feel, like you guys gotta feel it with me, okay? My current dream, so I'm 22. This will happen probably at 35. I totally want to have my house built from the ground up, in-ground pool, nice setting. I definitely want to own dogs, have about 3 children, and just be, you feel me, my business is, my enterprise is, I'm getting paid for me doing nothing because I did all the work.
Nice, the American dream.
Other than the second part of your book that you're going to do, what other projects are you trying to do?
I actually am working on another book. I actually am going to launch my initiative, Be a Changemaker. That will be coming soon. Hopefully I can get in some of you guys' schools to come there so you guys will see me again. But yes, right now I'm just working on Jean Cosmetics, my cosmetic line, and launching that as well as the book in the meantime. And getting my degree.
I'm sorry. If you can go back in time, would you do anything different?
Yes. I probably would stop trying to fit into places that I've grown out of. Meaning I would try to fit into environments that I was basically shrinking myself to fit in places I wasn't even wanted, if that makes sense. So yeah. So don't shrink yourself. Just be who you are.
Where did you first perform at, and what's your favorite Travis Scott song?
Oh, okay. My first performance, it was actually, I believe, one of them were in New Brunswick at a talent show. So I used to perform at talent shows before I got to get to opportunities like going to the BET Awards and being red carpets and stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice. All right, we got a question over here, Maya.
What inspired you when times were tough?
Going back to me having faith in God, I understand that each and every one of us aren't just here. We all have an existence for a reason. And I had to understand that my story was already written for me, and I just have to live it out. So, yeah. My faith was all I had. Times was rough, lonely.
Who's your favorite music artist you've collaborated with?
Ooh. Okay, so I don't know if you guys Okay, I have two of them are my peers. One of them is my friend. His name is Lygie. He's from Virginia. His music is really good. I like his music. And another song is unreleased. I don't know if you guys know King Roscoe from the rap game. We actually have a song, but we're probably never dropping it, but it was really good. We were just playing around.
Nice. All right, we got one back here.
Did you ever have any enemies? And if you did, how did you become enemies?
Ooh, okay, so me personally, I was just telling my mom this. I was like, yeah, of course I have haters. People are probably gonna hate when they see I'm doing this. But I said it's 2025. Why are we even giving them energy? We aren't even giving them energy, y'all. We gave them energy all those other years. 2025, we're not shining light on that. But honestly, I know people say, oh, like you have haters, use that as fuel, but why are we basing our fuel off revenge? Who cares what they think? Do what you gotta do. Don't pay them no mind.
Great question. I hope you don't have any enemies yet.
You're too young.
You got through those things. Here you go.
When you were starting to make music, who was your inspiration at the time?
Nicki Minaj. You guys gotta understand, this was like, I don't even know. But at the time, I grew up with the whole Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, all those was coming out. So I feel like they paved the way for me to be, I feel like a little it girl a little bit, just a tad. You know, you can't listen to Nicki Minaj and not feel like, yeah.
I have a question, and my question is, do you have any other plans onto how to take your story further and have more people see your story and get inspired by it?
I actually am working on right now a draft so I can actually have a movie. I want a movie, so y'all, fingers crossed that we could get that.
So, if you had any words of advice to give to a younger you, what would you say?
If I had lunch with my younger self, I would say the things that you're worried about is not going to matter within the next few years, and understand that you are uniquely made, and just basically keep going because you do have things that you'll see the end goal soon.
What inspired you to be an author in the first place?
I liked reading a lot as a child. I was a history kid. I loved learning about my history as a black young woman. So when I learned that Martin Luther King graduated high school at 16, I was like, I have to do that, and I did it.
What achievement are you most proud of in your life?
This is a good question. I would have to say that I didn't allow the things that I've experienced and happened to stop me from having the opportunity to be in front of you guys. So even with me going through the bullying really bad, it pushed me into my purpose because now I'm here helping, encouraging you.
When you feel like you wouldn't make it, what do you do?
I go back on my the things I've accomplished, and I look and see how good God is and where He brought me from. That's what I do. Oh, you guys have a lot of questions. I don't know if she's.
All right, I'm sorry, Mike. We got one more question over here.
When I.
What was your where did your artist name from?
Name is Amaya, but before I became Amaya Rockstar, I was just going by Rockstar when I was in a group, and I worked with my creative director, and he was like, why won't you say you're add Amaya in front of it? And it took me a good 5 minutes to process what he was saying. So my name is Amaya Rockstar, and that's why my first project is called Not a Question, because it's not a question that I'm a rock star.
Excuse me. I have a question. What was one of your biggest accomplishments?
I would have to say one of my favorite accomplishments would be that I did get an NAACP award, only because my roots is Black history. I love learning about history, so that would be one of my favorite accomplishments.
Were there any times you wanted to quit music, and if so, how did you get through it?
I did quit music until like last month. I just dropped music, but I don't know. I just got so busy doing other stuff that I liked.
What's your favorite food, and why do you like it?
Okay, so I'm usually gonna go with Mexican, but lately I've been on Mediterranean. Cava is literally my favorite. I was a Chipotle girl forever, but Cava is like, I'm hooked on Cava right now. So.
They're exploding. They're everywhere. They just moved one in near us too. I have to try it.
What happened to Trevor at the end of the book?
What happened to who?
Trevor.
You gotta read it. Did you read it? Okay, so we're gonna figure out what happened to him in part 2. But yes, he did. If you didn't read the book, he dealt with gun violence. We'll leave it there.
What do you plan to do in the future?
I don't know. I feel like in the future I do want to be a little bit more behind the scenes and help other people like you guys launch stuff.
How are we supposed to embrace diversity if people in high places try to restrict it?
Oh, that's why we need beautiful children like you to be outspoken and use your authority to come against them. If we all move as a pact, we can make a difference. That's why I wrote a book about colorism. Good? Okay.
Why did you choose to go back to school?
Okay, so because I went to school initially fashion design, and then I realized making clothes is not what I want to do. I'd rather just sketch the clothes and you guys mass produce them for me. So I switched to fashion merchandising, and then I was like, wait, I want a business degree behind this. I want to be the boss. I want to be the CEO behind it. So that's why I just wanted a little bit more deeper dive.
Who's the most famous person you know?
Who's the what?
Most famous person you know?
I don't know, but I can say the more person that you guys probably would know, because I have met a lot of people and I do know a lot of people. You guys know Storm Reed? You know Storm? Do you guys know Storm? Storm? Okay, well, some people I know is like, I met Uzi. I've been around Uzi a couple times. I've met A Boogie. I've met people, oh God, I can't know. You guys have to just, I don't know. It's a lot of people. I've been around some of your favorites, for sure.
Nice. All right, go ahead.
Where's Trevor now?
Where's Trevor now? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out while I'm writing. Still trying to figure that out.
What did it take for you to start your own brand?
Courage. Courage to just get out there and do it. Stop getting in my way and in my head.
If you could go back to like one time period in history, where would you go?
I would say the civil rights movement. I want to march. I actually marched during COVID too, so that was cool. Yeah. I'm an activist on the side. Pro women rights. Is there any more? You guys have questions?
Okay. All right, we got time for 2 more questions. So I had promised over here I was going to stop back to that side of the room. So let me just grab 2 more over here. My apologies. I'm sorry. We'll go through this.
You can ask me
Where
when I come down.
Just tell me. I know I told you were going to get a chance to ask me. Go ahead.
What was the biggest trigger in your life that made you pursue who you are now?
Awesome. There you go.
I would have to be that I dealt with a lot of depression. When I was younger, I did not like my skin complexion. I was darker than everybody. I did not like that I had curly hair. Everybody else in my class hair was straight. But I started to alter what God made me, and I realized I wasn't happy that way either. So then I just got my confidence together, looked in the mirror, read a couple books, and I just you know?
All right, I know we only have time for like one more question, but don't worry, Amaya's going to stick around for a little while longer, so you'll have an opportunity, even if you don't get a chance to ask it right now. But I did promise you that you would get a chance to ask this question, so go right ahead.
So why? So when you were making, when you had friends, when you lost them, do you still have any like now that you had when you were like younger?
Yeah, I actually, one of my friends from when I first started my career, she just recently welcomed a baby girl. So it felt good that I was able to experience that with her. And I'm also a mom too, so we both have kids now. It's kind of dope.
Okay, can we give it up one more time, please, for the amazing Amaya Rockstar? Now, keep it coming. Now, Amaya is going to stick around with us. So outside by the registration table, if you want her to sign anything, she's going to be out there, and you can have a chance still if you want to ask a quick question and to sign that. Yeah, so she's got books, too, that are out there if anybody would like a book to get those things together. Now, I want to explain to you what we're going to transition here, too. So I need your attention, please. And I'm going to ask you not to do anything until I give you all the instructions, okay? Everybody with me? We got this? Okay. So we're going to take a break right now, all right? I just wanted to say beforehand, Ramadan Mubarak to those of you who are celebrating during this. There is an option during lunch if anyone is not eating and would like to go and tour the Human Rights Institute gallery. They're going to take a gallery tour out in the lobby. So you can go meet with Amaya if you want to. You can come on that tour. If you want to go on that tour, there are two things you must do. Okay, so if that interests you and that's something you want to do, there are two things you must do. One is you must find the teacher that you came with and you must tell them that you want to go on the tour. If they give you the okay, we have a sign-in sheet on the table over there. You're just going to need to sign in and the tour is going to leave for the lobby. If that does not interest you, you don't have to go. That's perfectly fine. You are free. Now, hold on one second. Let me finish my instructions here, please. You are free to hang around in here, to go out into the hallway, to eat your lunch. We're going to take about a half-hour break. If you want to leave your table and sit with somebody else, that is fine. But at the end, don't go anywhere. Hold up. At the end of lunch, we're going to go back to our groups to work on our action plans, okay? So we're going to take a break right now, or we're going to go till 12. We'll go till about 40 minutes right now. So feel free to take that break. Again, if you want to go on the tour, see your teacher, go to the back, sign in, and we'll have a tour of the gallery that's over there. Enjoy your lunch.